This is commentary on lesson 94 in the workbook for A Course in Miracles. I am as God created me. In this lesson and the previous ones and all of the next lessons in this set of 20, there's a very, very strong emphasis on practicing the Course's thought system and practicing the lessons that we do for the day. We're being asked in this lesson, and that'll be I think the structure of the rest of them in this set of 20 of practicing every hour for 5 minutes. Take the beginning of the hour and practice for 5 minutes. Now, part of that is the recognition that if we try and sit for longer periods, that there's mind wandering, it's hard to concentrate. So what we're trying to do is a little set of practices to build up that ability to concentrate and to focus. And in these practices, we have a chicken and egg problem in that part of what these lessons are trying to do is to show us how powerful our minds are. And because once we understand how powerful they are, then we'll utilize the power of that mind to end our suffering and to start living from our truer self, which is one of peace and joy and love. And so we need to recognize the power of our minds, and in order to do that, we have to practice. And so that's really key here. And practicing in the longer practice periods, reminding ourselves frequently of the idea for the day, and then using it when we have specific upsets. So the power of our minds is really important here, and learning how powerful our decisions are is really important, because the Course wants us to see that all of our experiences are a function of a decision. And so that's the thing that we need to learn. It's not something that happens to us. It's something we decided for and then forgot to do it, and it seems to be happening to us. So the power of the mind is really important. Here's one interesting factoid from cognitive science, and which relates to computers. Computers were originally used as a model of the mind. When you're trying to understand something, you construct a model that imitates that to try and understand the thing that you're studying. And so that's what computers originally were. So one little factoid from that is that it looks like your computer is doing many things at once, but what's really happening, it can really only do one thing at once, but it does it very fast. So for instance, your computer can make like a million computations, like a million 1 + 1 or whatever a second. But that's a lot of computations going on. But our minds are that powerful. There's a lot that's going on that we're unaware of, and so we need to practice to be able to see that. Because if we know that power, then we'll use it to rid ourselves of our suffering and like I say, live out from our truer self. Here's something from chapter 15, which begins the two uses of time by the Holy Spirit and by the ego, and the Holy Spirit's use of the holy instant, which is what we're trying to get in this lesson we're going to do today. So let me read this. The Holy Spirit teaches thus: there is no hell. Hell is only what the ego has made of the present. The belief in hell is what prevents you from understanding the present, because you're afraid of it. The Holy Spirit leads us steadily to heaven as the ego drives to hell, for the Holy Spirit, who knows only the present, uses it to undo the fear by which the ego would make the present useless. There is no escape from fear in the ego's use of time, for time, according to its teaching, is nothing but a teaching device for compounding guilt until it becomes all-encompassing, demanding vengeance forever. The Holy Spirit would undo all of this now, and that's what the holy instant is. Fear is not of the present, but only of the past and the future, which do not exist. There is no fear in the present when each instant stands clear and separated from the past, without its shadow reaching out into the future. This is what we're trying to attempt, this experience in this lesson. Each instant is a clean, untarnished birth in which the Son of God emerges from the past into the present, and the present extends forever. It is so beautiful and so clean and free of guilt that nothing but happiness is there. No darkness is remembered, and immortality and joy are now. This lesson takes no time, for what is time without a past and future? It has taken time to misguide you so completely, but it takes no time at all to be what you are. And that's the key notion in today's lesson. I am as God created me. That's the truth. It doesn't take any time for you to be what you are. Truth doesn't take any time to happen. It's right there, right now. So begin to practice the Holy Spirit's use of time as a teaching aid to happiness and peace. Take this very instant now and think of it as all there is of time. Nothing can reach you here out of the past, and it is here that you're completely absolved, completely free and wholly without condemnation. From this holy instant wherein holiness was born again, you will go forth in time without fear and with no sense of change with time. So that's what we're trying to get in these practices. That's what we want to spend the time to realize it doesn't take any time to be who we are. So here it is, I am as God created me. Today we continue with the one idea which brings complete salvation, the one statement which makes all forms of temptation powerless, the one thought which renders the ego silent and entirely undone. You are as God created you. The sounds of this world are still, the sights of this world disappear, and all the thoughts that this world ever held are wiped away forever by this one idea. Here is salvation accomplished. Here is sanity restored. True light is strength, and strength is sinlessness. So we're building on the first idea we had in these set of lessons. Miracles are seen in the light. The light and strength are one. The light and strength are our sinlessness. True light is strength, and strength is sinlessness. If you remain as God created you, you must be strong, and light must be in you. He who ensured your sinlessness must be the guarantee of strength and light as well. You are as God created you. Darkness cannot obscure the glory of God's Son. You stand in light, strong in the sinlessness in which you were created, and in which you will remain throughout eternity. Today we will again devote the first 5 minutes of each waking hour to the attempt to feel the truth in you. So we have to get this, we use these words and these concepts to get our mind focused, but it's the experience that we get that lends us conviction in the Course's thought system, the conviction that it's true. So we begin these times of searching for this truth that's inside of us with these words, I am as God created me. I am his Son eternally. And now try to reach the Son of God in you. This is a self that never sinned, nor made an image to replace reality. This is the self that never left its home in God to walk the world uncertainly. This is the self that knows no fear, nor could conceive of loss, or suffering, or death. Nothing is required of you to reach this goal except to lay all idols and self-images aside. Go past the list of attributes, both good and bad, you have ascribed to yourself, and wait in silent expectancy for the truth. God has himself promised that it will be revealed to all who ask for it. You are asking now, and you cannot fail because he cannot fail. So this is the other side of the practice. We're trying to reach this true self. We're trying to enter into the truth of it. But to do that, we have to lay aside this image of ourselves that we see ourselves in. All the attributes, good and bad. That concept of self, we have to lay that down. We have to just let that go. And once we let that go, then we can reach and search and find that self inside. So let go of all this little sense of self that we have. If you do not meet the requirement of practicing for the first 5 minutes of every hour, at least remind yourself hourly, I am as God created me. I am his Son eternally. Tell yourself frequently today that you are as God created you. So that's the frequent reminders. That's the longer practice period. If we can't do 5 minutes um, for the first part of the hour, then try and just take a minute to do it and remind ourselves hourly that I am as God created me. I'm His Son eternally. And we can tell this to ourselves frequently today, all day long, that you are as God created you. And then the other practice is when response to temptation, when someone seems to irritate you, use these words. You are as God created you. You are His Son eternally. So that's what we want to say about anyone who's with us today that seems to upset us. You are as God created you. You are His Son eternally. So make every effort to do the hourly exercises today. Each one you do will be a giant stride towards your release and a milestone in learning the thought system which this course sets forth. So this is this understanding of how powerful our minds are, how what great value there is in practicing these ideas to show us the power of those minds and lend us an experience of our truer self, of peace, of love and joy. So make every effort to do the hourly exercises today. All right, that's it. Thanks.